This is the week of December 4th, 2011. Tonight, we've got the cast of 448 Psychosis, a profile interview with genocide and Armenian Studies Professor Taner Akcam, and an actor from the Creative Actor Final Performance. This is CCN News for you. I suppose you're all wondering what Student Council's been up to. I know I have. Recently, they announced that they had over $70,000 in a cumulative surplus, and now the results are in on what that money's going to. They're spending a total of $76,497. Where is it? Well, $39,497 is going to Project Playground, a student-run initiative to fix up that playground on the corner of Florence and Downing, that really sketch kind of place. It's going to be good. They say it's going to be finished by the end of next semester, and then kids will play there, and the general atmosphere of the Clark community will be enlightened for sure. Furthermore, $20,000 is going to the Clark Food Cooperative to transform a closet in the basement of, or in the grind, into a sort of organic and local food storage and selling unit, so that students on campus will be able to buy and sell their organic foodstuffs. Should be some good stuff there. $15,000 is going to a recycling bin initiative, where they're going to get hundreds of new recycling bins in different places around campus that don't have them yet, to increase this green trend that we seem to be having, which is a good thing. And $2,000 is going to be spent on a gender-neutral bathroom project. 11 bathrooms around campus are going to be transformed to be gender-neutral, and so to make the students and everybody feel more at home. Hip Hop Collabo this week is going to have an extravaganza, they call it, and I really don't know what else to call it, because that's what it's going to be. The theme is Hip Hop Collabo Goes to Work, and it's some sort of extravaganza, really, in Atwood Hall, December 9th and 10th at 7 p.m., friends and family. This is a group that has auditions in the fall, and this is going to be a sort of final performance, and that should be pretty good stuff, and fun times will be had by all. Many of you may have heard the news that there is a planet similar to ours that's been discovered. It's being called Kepler 22b. This is a planet that's just far enough away from its sun, and not too not too close, not too far, enough to sustain life at a surface temperature about 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And they're thinking that there could be some life there, maybe some aliens. Certainly liquid water is a thing. And so we're going to see how that all turns out. The thing is, it's 600 light years away, so, contact between our planets is not really going to happen anytime soon. And if you're thinking this is some new thing, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but there are already 50 planets that have been confirmed around the universe that are capable of sustaining life. So surely the alien invasion will happen sometime, just not anytime soon. Further science news, black holes have been discovered, 10 times the size of our solar system. One, recently observed, has been determined to weigh as much as 21 billion suns. This crushes the previous record holder of a black hole that only weighed 6.3 billion suns. So, it's pretty ginormous. It was interesting to hear that black holes have been discovered to live at the center of all galaxies. And so the bigger the black hole, the bigger the galaxy. This is going to be some pretty interesting news, surely, for all you astronomy nerds. I know I'm interested. We're going to be back after this message with a profile of Holocaust and Genocide and Armenian Studies Professor Taner Akcam. Stay tuned.
My name is Taner Akcam, and I was born in Turkey, in a small village in Caucasus on top of mountains. My both parents were teachers, and we moved to Ankara, the capital city of Ankara. This is where I graduated from university, and I became very active in students' movement. This is what is known here also as 68 movements, the students' movement. Basically, we were for democracy and human rights in Turkey. People try to put us to down. Talking about my dreams.
just because we get around. Talking about my generation. Things they do look awful. Talking about my generation. I hope I die before I get old. Talking about my generation.
Within these activities, I became editor-in-chief of a student journal. We called this journal Revolutionary Youth. We considered ourselves as revolutionaries at that time, and we want to change not only the Turkey, we want to change the world. Armenian genocide is one of the biggest mass crimes in 20th century, maybe one of the biggest genocide in first genocide in 20th century, and the dates is between 1915 and 17. Even some scholars argue that it continued until 1923. Armenians were Ottoman citizens, Ottoman Empire, one of the biggest empires of the human history. An important Christian minority were targeted for massacres and deportations and killings during the First World War. It is still a taboo in Turkey to talk about this historic fact, and because it is a taboo and because Turkish government denies the Armenian genocide, we still don't have enough material from Turkish sources. My major contribution in the field is to introduce the Ottoman Turkish document related to Armenian genocide. You know, in order to understand history, it's better to formulate in the following way. Turkish Republic, Turkish nation state, established on 5 major taboos. And these taboos were made also a part of criminal law. It was banned to mention about these taboos also. According to Turkish law or the legend, this is the founding legend of Turkish Republic, there are no Kurds in Turkey. Kurds are mountain Turks. Whoever mentions existing of the Kurds in Turkey could be sentenced based on Turkish criminal code, and there were certain articles in Turkish criminal code, and because of these articles I was arrested, and public prosecutor asked 700 years for different articles that I wrote in this journal. My case became very well known in Europe. I became adopted child of Amnesty International, and I was sentenced to 10-year imprisonment, 1976, and I got bored in prison and escaped 1977. I ended up in Germany 1977, end of 1977, October. Unfortunately, I ended up in prison again in Germany because the German custom officers, the police, figured out that my passport was false. So because of this false passport, I ended up in prison in Germany. But the Amnesty International found me and they took me out, and where I could continue my study, where I then continued the education and had my PhD, and now I'm here.
I sat down with Genocide and Armenian Studies professor Taner Akcam to discuss his life and some of his recent work. Here's me.